City head coach James O'Connor will let coach give an opening statement, then we'll open the floor to questions. James, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, obviously very disappointed. I think probably first 30 minutes, 35 minutes we were off. We didn't look a little bit flat. It took us a while to get going. Probably the last 10 minutes of the second half, I started to feel like we were coming into it more. Second half, I think we've absolutely bossed the game and completely dominated. Hit the woodwork, whatever it is, 3 times and had some chances. So we're unlucky not to get anything out of the game. But it's obviously very frustrating when you have a game, and especially when you have the ball bouncing off the crossbar and off the post, and bounce of a ball didn't happen for us tonight.
Michael, front row.
James, this team has learned in 2019 to grind out results on the road, but it has struggled at home. What is the difference between the team's performances on the road and at home this year?
Well, I think in this particular game it's a little bit difficult because of the amount of games that we've had. So I think when you look at the volume of games that we've had, we've obviously tried to manage that. I think the biggest thing tonight, I think when you look at the actual game as a single event, I think, as I say, the first 30 minutes, I think you're looking at it, and Red Bulls, to be fair, have started bright. They've ended up getting a goal. But after that, I don't think we could have done much more to win the game. I think when you look at the, as I say, the chances, and you look at the off the bar and off the post and everything, and there was only one team second half that was trying to really go and get after it. So I think when we look at that, it's obviously really frustrating. But again, it's something that we need to try to look at as regards the first 30 minutes. We need to be a little bit sharper, come out, start the game, because we got hurt in the first 30 minutes. They've had a couple of opportunities. Brian's made a save. They've scored, but then after that, we've completely pinned them in.
Go ahead, Mike. Front row.
Coach, we saw Nani limp off in the 70th minute. Is there an update on him? And
no idea. Obviously, he's got hurt and he's had to come out of the game. So for us, we'll have to wait and see how he is.
Julia, front row. She can go down the line here.
You mentioned how there was kind of a complete change in energy from the first to the second half. What do you think caused that coming out of halftime?
Yeah, I mean, I think at halftime we just spoke of the need to press upon them our game and play at our tempo and move the ball quicker. I think second half we started to move the ball and we started to open them up and create some opportunities. I think first half it was a case of trying to deal with their style. It's obviously very effective. But for us, it was a case of, manage their style, manage the areas that they want to play in, and then make sure that we come out and we play in the areas that we want to. And I think second half we did that. We moved the ball better. We started to create some chances and should have got something out of the game.
Go back front row.
Coach, right here. Just to piggyback off of that, when you're playing a team that has such a high level of defense like what we saw tonight with RBNY, what's normally the strategy that you have the guys do? Just kind of piggybacking off what you said.
Well, I don't necessarily think it's down to too much strategy. I think when we could very easily come in and we could have won a game 3 or 4-1, and we're all saying what a great second half and how good it is. I think it's for us it's unfortunate that we've hit the woodwork so many times and haven't really capitalised on the opportunities that we were given. But I can't fault the players for the perseverance and for their effort. I thought, look, second half we've thrown absolutely everything. Guys are on the floor, exhausted, haven't thrown everything at it to try to get something from the game. So I think in a situation like that, it's just very frustrating for everybody because, we can all see second half we've tried and just didn't really happen for us. We've been punished first half, and we definitely needed to start the game brighter than we did. But all in all, I can't fault the players too much with the level of commitment and what they've thrown tonight.
Michael, front row.
James, the first game for Zhao in a long time, he was able to give you the full 90 tonight. Can you just maybe give your thoughts on his recovery and his game tonight? Yeah,
and he took a whack early on, so we were concerned because he was saying at halftime he was struggling. So he took a decent hit, so we weren't sure if he was going to get through it. But I think he gives you great balance. I think when you look at some of the passes that he made, especially second half, he started to get a little higher up the field and cause them some problems. So I think he's a player that's got great ability. Another really good young player for us, and we're pleased that he's back.
Go ahead, Mike. Ferro.
James, the team hasn't been able to post consecutive wins at all this season. Obviously, we're heading towards the midpoint of the season. How concerning is that, and how do you go about trying to start stringing up some wins to kind of get that playoff chances?
Yeah, in the league, I think you're on about, yeah. I think the biggest thing for us, again, is when you go into every game, you approach it in a manner that you need to be very process-orientated. So I think it's, rather than looking at the end goal and worrying about the outcome, we're very much a case of, okay, what's our process, and then have a level of consistency. So I think we've tried to ingrain that amongst the players, and there's been a number of games where maybe unfortunately, we haven't quite got the result, but I think everyone will look at that and think, God, Orlando, we're really harsh not to get something out of the game. So I think it's a case of understanding the process, and then mentally just making sure that we start the game a little bit brighter, because we've been punished there for probably, as I say, 30-35 minute spell where they've scored, and we haven't managed to go and get something out of the game. So I think we've made tremendous strides this year in a lot of areas, and I think that's obviously one of the areas that we want to try to do is to not just get one game and then another win. We want to have a run of games where we're winning in the league. I think we've had that little patch through the Open Cup and then going into league form, but we need to try to maintain our process, because I think we, throughout the course of the year, the performances over the course have been at a level that we think, okay, well that's given us plenty of optimism. But ultimately, you have to try to win games and get points on the board, and that's what we're desperately trying to do.
Last one, Michael.
James, could you just, in your words, can you explain what Will Johnson has given this team, or this 8 games in 26-day stretch, especially the last week and a half?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think when you look at Will and you look at his endeavour, his energy, and not just Will, I think if you look at all the guys, I think we've had 8 games in the 26 days, but also we've flown all over the country. I think it's a huge ask when we've had Portland away on a midweek on a Thursday, and then we've also had Seattle midweek on a Wednesday. So I think for us it's disappointing to see games like that midweek. Obviously you're hopeful that when you're travelling that length that it would be on a weekend, but we're not making any excuses, and I'm not using that as an excuse. I think that's part of the toll on Will and all the other players. So to have that perseverance in the second half and show the fight that they have, what's gone through that, gives an insight into the character. And it's something that, we are very proud of. It's just we wanted to get results tonight. And I think they've given everything to try and get as much as they possibly can. And then you look at, there's 5 minutes goes up for injury time. You look in Portland and there's 7 minutes. And that's happened a couple of times where you're looking and you're going, well, hang on a second, because I'm sure when the referee watches the game, and if he actually times it, there's way more than 5 minutes, and they're being professional and they're managing the game away. But I'm sure when the referee looks back, he'll probably say, okay, well, God, maybe I should have needed to do that a little bit. Give a little bit more time. But again, I don't want that to come across as excuses. I'm just trying to make people aware of certain things that happen. I think for us, the lesson for us tonight is making sure that we start the game a little bit sharper and don't get caught in that first 30-35 minutes. But second half, I can't really say too much to the players, because they've tried really hard. They've just hit the woodwork 3 times and we haven't got anything out of the game. So it's incredibly frustrating for all of us.
Thank you, James. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Teshak and Deli and Huan available.